And the Federal Reserve has been a participant at your board meetings. I'm not sure they have a vote, but they've been a participant at your board meetings and in other significant meetings in terms of reviewing policy since that time in October?
Yes, absolutely, yes. And it goes well beyond that. I mean, it goes to participation in all the things that lead up to board meetings or committee meetings.
And it's been a variety of people, either outsiders they brought in or people from the Federal Reserve who participated in these meetings. Is that?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? And you indicated that you assumed that they had shared that information earlier in testimony today. You assumed they had shared that information with Treasury and with Congress, for all that matters. Is that correct?
Yes, as I mentioned, I had a conversation.
Not correct, but correct that was an assumption you made.
Yes, I had a conversation with Treasury Secretary Geithner about a week ago, and he indicated to me that he had only become aware of the situation about a week prior to that. And we have tried to keep the staffs of various members of Congress apprised of all of the situation and be very responsive to whatever queries you may have. I think we've done a good job of that. Well, you'll be the judge of that.
If Treasury Secretary Geithner was the head of the New York Federal Reserve and his people were participating in the meetings that you had thereafter, would he not have known from them, or was he even a participant in the meetings, at least until he became Secretary of the Treasury?
You know, you really, I don't know. You really have to ask the Federal Reserve that as to how much was there in the chain of command that would have gone all the way up to Mr. Geithner. I don't know the answer to that.
Did he participate in any of the meetings when he was still at the Federal Reserve in New York?
In several, yes, although once he was nominated as a potential Secretary of the U.S. Treasury, he recused himself from any of those situations.
Now, you indicated that the Federal Reserve could say yay or nay at these various meetings, and I assume these are probably board meetings or some subset of the board.
Correct.
Executive committee type meetings. Correct. Or whatever. Did they actually have the right to say yay or nay on decisions such as bonuses or whatever, or do you just assume that they were there and they could have said something that they wanted to? How do you interpret their powers?
I generally ask them. I ask them if they're okay or if they have a comment on it, which is my way of making certain that if there's a different point of view that should be heard or should be voiced, that there's an opportunity for it to be heard. And
they did not say nay as far as these bonuses were concerned?
No, there was great angst over the payment of these bonuses, believe me, on all of our parts, including the Federal Reserves. And the judgment, as I said, I'm sorry to be repetitive, the judgment we made was the risk was too great that we would lose all the progress we made if we didn't pay these bonuses.
I have a request, Mr. Chairman, as I close here. And would it be possible to ask if Mr. Liddy or those working with him could submit a list and the chronology of the meetings that occurred at which the Fed was available there and who was there and the basic outline of what was discussed at that meeting?
Would you submit that in writing?
Could you submit that in writing? I'm not asking you to do it now.
We don't have it available to us right now. I understand
that. I mean, could you go back and after several days be able to submit something of that nature, looking at your minutes or whatever?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.